Hey, what's up? It's Cam from the Brother Slim, and I've decided to do some more Trench Crusade coverage. The campaign's been really exciting, 2 really cool updates today, and I'm a huge lore buff, story buff when it comes to all the games that I like, so that's something I didn't really get into at all in the little coverage video the other day. So I figured, let's do that today, especially since one of the updates is a faction focus, which is perfect. But to start, I thought I would read through the actual little info lore blurb just at the front here with this beautiful piece of art. In 1099, the Templars took the Holy City. Sealed deep within the catacombs beneath, they discovered a blasphemous artifact which tested their faith and found it wanting. Blinded by greed and with weakness in their hearts, they fell to their knees in supplication to a new blasphemous lord. Thus came the first heresy, and Jerusalem was reduced to a depraved pit where hell and our mortal world bleed into one. 8 centuries later, mortal soldiers go over the top as weapons of terrifying power hammer both friend and foe alike. Supernatural beings wade through the carnage, their divine flesh impervious to all but the most blessed ammunition. Even with such incalculable mights, the armies are at a stalemate, and minor victories are snatched through daring raids and flank attacks. This is Hell on Earth. This is Trench Crusade. Very cool. Love the logo, love the art, and the little graphic design that they've got outlined there is fantastic. So that is the TLDR of the world of Trench Crusade. Let's get into the updates from today. First one is a Heretic Legion faction focus by Jamie. Good morning, folks. Here's the first in a series of faction focuses for the game in honor of this little achievement. Beautiful achievement that it is. Wunderbar. A big thank you to Discord user Yushang for the screen cap. Lovely indeed. This is something I noticed going through the quick other video, is these signets or crests for the factions are awesome. Big fan. So Heretic Legion, all kinds of creepy good stuff. Love it. In the domains where men worship demons and kneel before the altars of the golden calf, the mortal followers of the mighty archdevils muster under their black banners as the fires spewing from the open gate of hell light the black skies. What a phrase. The Heretic Legion is the main armed force of the damnation, which seeks to bring all of creation under the yoke of hell. The bulk of its forces consist of heretic troopers or the elite legionnaires who have witnessed the Hellgate with their own eyes. Elite heavy anointed warriors have made a pilgrimage to hell and live to tell the tale. Worse still are death commandos, silent murderers that can slay their enemies unseen, hidden from the eyes of God by their stealth generators. The heretic choristers carry their severed heads, which sign the hymns they learned in hell, and at the head of each warband walks a heretic priest, a wielder user of the powerful goetic magic. Heresiarch, one of the Templars that opened the portal to hell and damned all of creation. So, ginormous ex-Templar turned massive unholy abomination, and a lovely procession of unholy folks. Good times, good times. More sinister creatures still prowl the ranks of Heretic Legions, for hell often sends their own abhorrent progeny to reinforce their mortal foot soldiers, nightmarish war beasts made of captured and possessed creatures, and dreaded artillery witches who act as mobile artillery supporting lightning assaults. The Heretic Legion is a classic elite force that marries extremely potent long-range artillery with powerful frontline melee troops that are a deadlier danger to any other warband. The downside is that they rarely outnumber their foes, and therefore do not want to get bogged down in mid to short range firefight. They have access to terrifying long-range firepower with the artillery witch, whilst in melee, the Warwolf Assault Beast offers perhaps the best blend of speed, durability, terror, and sheer melee-focused power. Very, very cool. And yep, all of the rules are free in a download, which is nice. And then we have the sculpts, a little bit closer up and some more angles, which is awesome to go through. So the Heretic Priest. Found at the head of heretical warbands, these fallen priests perform all kinds of unholy magics, summoning petrifying demons and creatures with goetic spells. Often pledged to a demon lord in hell, such as Pazuzu or Guisan, the profane gospels they recite terrify those that dare defy them, causing ears to bleed and eyeballs to burst in their sockets. Fun! Yeah, this sculpt is good. Not gonna lie, I think it's one of my least favorite of this range. Not because it's bad, it just gives me a lot of like 40k chaos kind of cultist vibes, and differs from the art for this this miniature rather substantially, and I think the art slaps. It goes really hard. So there's nothing wrong with it, just like a little bit more 40k mortal chaos worshiper vibes in my books, at least. The hat and helmet is really cool though. And then scrolling onwards, we have the Death Commando. You can see some of the simple, elegant, terrifying motion in effect there. At a young age, Death Commando aspirants are sent beyond the gates of hell. Few are chosen, few return, but those who complete their training stand amongst the most elite of the Heretic Legion. Trained by the damned souls of murderers and devils, these terrifying warriors are slaughter made manifest. What these hands do, indeed. I think this guy's one of my favorite sculpts of this range for sure, the Anointed. There's another one further down below too. These paragons of unhinged brutality are the blackest of souls who have journeyed beyond the gates of hell itself. Burnt flesh that never heals is but a small price to pay for the strength granted to them. These men and women are revered among the legions as walking incarnations of the flames of the abyss. Cool, cool, cool. There's something about, like, obviously there's the World War I/2 vibe with the gas mask and such, but the armor is so, like, ancient and medieval. And there's something about that vibe with the guns and the gas mask that is just unreal. It's so cool. Alrighty, Heretic, words give me a lot of trouble. Heretic Troopers. Those who wish to win a place amongst the Heretic Legions must make an unholy pilgrimage to the gates of hell. Enduring infernal heat that sears both flesh and spirit, those who make it within sight of the Maw are considered worthy and initiated into the Legions and thus damned for all eternity. Hello, darkness, my old friend. These guys, simple and effective. They kind of give me like World War II German vibes a little bit. Maybe it's the helmets, I think. And maybe that pistol too, actually. But yeah, super cool. I like them a lot. I think these ones are multi-part too. Maybe, I can't remember. Some of them are, I think there's only 2 multi-part kits. Chorister. Suicide is a mortal sin, and sacrificing yourself to the glory of hell is yet a greater affront to God. Even with their throats cut, some of these sonorous heretics do not stay dead and rise to finish their grisly beheading. Lifting their severed heads high, they begin to sing hymns they toss to them in the inferno. Yeah, creepy. Yeah. This is maybe my favorite. You know what? I think I just said it for the Anointed, but this one might take the cake, actually. The Artillery Witch. With lithe forms and strange garments, they may seem out of place on the battlefields of the Trenched Crusade. However, they are in fain one of Hell's most dangerous and mysterious creations, possessing the power to pull ordnance directly from the factories of Hell's third circle. They can obliterate enemy fortifications with a wave of their hand. So this was a case where I thought the mini was going to be a lot worse than the art, just because in the arts, it's this giant-ass missile, which is levitated above the hand. It looks fantastic. And oh my god, I can't remember who the sculptor is for this, but they knocked it out of the park. The robe is super ornate and really cool. I wouldn't necessarily love painting it, but it's not a troop, so having just one ornate mini is okay for sure. And having like the flame or smoke effect going up the bomb to kind of give it the illusion of distance when it's all one solid piece there is really nice. And the helmet and the pose, yeah, just aces, 10 out of 10. Here we go. So we get another view of the War Wolf, which is so cool. Its full facial is terrifying, but seeing what it actually looks like from the sides is awesome. This abomination was created to clear a path for the Heretic infantry, cutting through miles of barbed wire with its specially formed head. This unique appendage is just as devastating to flesh, though, and coupled with the armor nailed directly into its flesh, it is a terrifying foe on the battlefield. Yep. Cool, creepy mini. Big fan. So here we are, the second Anointed sculpt, this one with a big old axe. These paragons of unhinged, let's see, I think this is, yep, and that's the same blurb, so no need to read that again. The Sin Eater. Sin Eaters are horrific creatures. They were once mortal men and women, but their overwhelming greed and hunger for human flesh, tainted with sin, combined with the corrupting influence of the Hellgate, has turned them into a form that matches their inner foulness. Forever ravenous, for more flesh and human sins to devour. Yeah, chonky, hungry lad. That's nasty. And then yeah, on its back, it's got little snacks too. Note, some more experienced players here will know that the Sin Eater isn't only aligned with the Heretic Legion, but all the forces of Hell can be taken. But all the forces of Hell and can be taken in your Black Grail and Court forces too. Be cool seeing it all like rusted up in a Black Grail army. Yeah, so pretty cool indeed. I like the breakdown of the kind of, it gives you the gist and the idea of how the faction's meant to play too. So elite soldiers across the board. And then the next one is all dedicated to stretch goals. which is good to see, especially given the success. Greetings, Crusaders! Finally, come bearing gifts in the form of stretch goals. For those of you who are wondering how this took so long, well, you basically obliterated our entire plan. This campaign has already gone so far past our original expectations that we've not only had to rework the entire stretch goal schedule, but have pulled the trigger on a load of things that weren't even meant to appear here. It's taken a while to get all the assets for these together and get final confirmation from artists and designers. So I really like this statement because it's really easy to have stretch goals as like the guise of if we're able to reach these targets, we'll have these things, when in a lot of cases, the games are already budgeting for these goals. This reads as extremely genuine and not just a quick like, oh my goodness, you've exceeded our expectations. Like it's holy moly, you made us have to redo everything we had planned. So everything about it just reads super genuine, and I really like how it was put together. This includes a big, all capitals, 1 million stretch goal, 1 million, that was meant to be the subject of a future crowdfunding campaign that y'all will now be getting for free if we reach it. So I'm very curious to see what that is. But until then, we've got plenty to tide you over. The following stretch goals are all unlocked. Expanded armory rules, more weapons and armor for your warbands, a new set of esoteric weapons and equipment. All backers will receive a digital copy. That's nice. Map illustration from Jared Blando. As long as I'm reading that, Blando. One of the most requested pieces for the world of Trench Crusade. Jared Blando will be scribing a map detailing the situation on the front line as well as within the heartlands of the different factions. This will feature in the rulebook, but will also make sure everyone gets a digital copy too. Cool. 28 Meg crossover mini. 28 is a free hobby magazine that is focused on miniatures, art, and games. The grim and dark and the odd. All of those find a place within their pages. The magazine is published annually and features a cornucopia of miniatures from some of the most inspiring hobbyists and artists, along with articles touching on a variety of hobby-related topics. And it's free. Before doing anything else, go and check them out. Definitely go and take a look. And then here we have the Crossbar Mini. So in collaboration with our friends at 28, we're very happy to announce a new miniature for the campaign. The Scripture Guardian. Phenomenal arts, and that sculpt also looks really good. Those candles on the back are unreal. And look at those hands. Creepy and really cool. And we get some lore for it too. The origins of the Scripture Guardians are unknown, but rumors claim they are creations of the great masters of Kabbalah. Reports of the Scripture Guardians began to circulate in the early days of the Great War. The destruction of Jerusalem upended great cities and unearthed tombs that should never have been disturbed. Their occupants, now wandering this unhappy land, endlessly reciting the sacred writings entrusted to them in death. Sometimes a lucky expedition to no man's land can find such a creature, and placing a holy text of their own faith into its hands can turn the guardian into a potent ally to whomever aligns with the holy, or indeed desecrated, scroll or tome placed on its hands. Capable of speaking and reading the one true language, the Scripture Guardian can unleash the powers it calls upon against anyone its master dictates. It serves its purpose with a single-mindedness of an automaton, unthinking and uncaring. All backers will receive the digital file for this miniature. The physical version will be added to the Beast and Heresy Arch pledges for free. All other backers will be able to purchase the physical model at cost. It will be added to the add-on section of the campaign page shortly. So that's cool. I kind of feel like the physical one, it would be nice to have the physical one available for anyone who backs a warband and up, just so it's more freely available for those that aren't utilizing 3D prints. But still, that is freaking cool, and at least they can get it printed elsewhere if they don't want to buy the physical one. Moritz Krebs. I'm going to read the below instead of this font. This font's a really cool font, but it's hard to read. A new illustration for the rulebook from amazing Moritz Krebs. You can check out his work here. Cool. Story from Graham McNeil. Very excited to welcome the award-winning Graham McNeil to the trenches. Author of more books than I can list here. He'll be writing a short story for the Trench Crusade rulebook. For those of you that aren't getting the book, don't fret. You'll receive a digital copy of his tale. Very cool. It'll be sweet to have kind of a lore short story in the rulebook. That's one thing that was really cool about lots of the Warhammer ones is, yeah, they get recycled every single year, which is a huge bummer. But if you're a huge buff on the lore, like it's just sweet having like those different inclusions too. So having something like in this sounds good to me too. And one lovely thing about Trench Crusade by comparison there is if the rules in the physical book ever get outdated, which, let's be real, even with it releasing, I think like 5 or 6 months later than everything else, like it will eventually get updated. all the rules are available free online anyway, so the book will always be a cool, fantastic art piece to have on the shelf, even if the rules get outdated. And I think I saw someone quoting that they still use their old original Mordheim rulebook, and that's from way back in the day now. So if there's any similarities there, especially with Tomas making it, that's probably going to be similar to the case here. You already know Artem Demura, thanks to his banger of a piece that currently crowns the Kickstarter page. We're glad to say that he's returning to do yet another piece for the book. For those of you that aren't getting the book, don't fret, you'll receive a digital one. So I think that is going to be the piece from that little thing I read at the beginning of this video with the kind of gold and the trench and cool little iconography or graphic design around it. And that is definitely a banger of a piece, so excited to see more from Artem. Very cool. And this is also exceedingly cool. Accessory sprues. Accessorize! Equipment and weapon sprues for the forces of Church, Hell, and the Sultanate will be added to the campaign. Each equipment sprue contains an average of 50 to 80 different pieces, ranging from helmets to trinkets, shields, banners, instruments, and other knickknacks to customize your minis and terrain with. Each weapon sprue is about 40 different pieces and not only includes weapons already available to that faction, but also plenty of new options. With these, you can convert up your minis however you like or kitbash them using other ranges, which is super cool. Again, I love that they're doing this. So a bunch of the critique has been about I think two things that I've seen some critique on the campaign. And actually, to back it up a little bit, there's been a really constructive conversation in the comments, which is awesome. Because I think it's really easy in crowdfunding campaigns to have an opinion and share it in a not constructive way. Everyone's gonna have opinions. That's just the way these things go, especially when there's a lot of big names and a lot of small names out in this industry too. And so I think the biggest gripes I've seen have been the price of the STLs in comparison to like if someone was on someone's Patreon. And then also some gripes with who's being used for the physical prints. I haven't looked into it personally, so I have no opinion to share there. But again, all of the miniatures are optional, and I just love that they always reinforce that. So convert up your minis however you like, or kitbash them using other ranges. So specifically the kitbash with other ranges, being able to have all of this specific kit is neat. I like that a lot. Let's see. So Church accessory sprues, 78 accessory parts, $15 physical. I feel like that's a fair price for a sprue of a whole bunch of goodies. So a bunch of helmets, those look really neat. Bunch of crosses, very cool. Church weapons, that big ol' rifle looks awesome. Oh, also a straight up missile launcher, that's really neat. Yep, those look freaking cool. Me likey. Hell accessories. So we got some gribbly nasty helmets, looks like some bloated bug wings, that's nasty. Corpses, bigger helmets, yep. Cool. Hell weapons, what on earth are those big chunguses? Different weapon types too. Me likey for sure. One thing I'm kind of curious about, so not seeing any, and this is all obviously early days digital sculpts and such, but I don't see any hands on the weapons. So I'm curious if you're supposed to snip and pin, which is not like a really necessarily hard thing, but I would consider it like a little bit more of an advanced kit bashing thing to do. So I wonder if that's the assumption that everyone's going to be pinning these and just snipping other weapons off, or if there's going to be hands attached to them based on like the scale of the weapon itself, maybe. Sultan accessories. Once again, Sultan stuff is so freaking cool, but there's just a little bit too much detail for my taste and time for painting these days. Those weapons are freaking awesome, though. Neat. These will be added to the Beast and Heretic pledges. All other backers will be able to purchase the physical and digital versions with a heavy discount. They'll be added to the add-on section of the campaign page shortly. Again, same kind of idea. I think this one is a little bit more fitting than the free miniature. These will be added to... Okay, yeah, so this one's, I think, a little bit more fitted for being a paid add-on because it's not something that every single person's going to want. And it's a bigger thing than a free mini or than one miniature in my mind. I do think it would be nice to see it a little bit more easily available, or have like the digital versions included in more pledges than just that. But I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, and these are decisions that they've taken some time to make. So trust that they're doing the best that they can for everybody in the campaign. Expanded terrain rules. New terrain rules for your battlefield. Bunkers, fire steps, pillboxes, fixed gun points, watchtowers, floodlights, and more. That's fun. Valin Matthias. We said the book would be a veritable tomb of Trench Crusade art, and we weren't lying. Valen Matthias joins us to bring his amazing work to the world of Trench Crusade. Des Hanley illustration, A Vision of Damnation. An artist that needs absolutely no introduction, Des Hanley will also be adding his phenomenal talents to the project. This will feature in the rulebook. We'll also make sure to get people a digital copy. So fun, very cool. Not gonna lie, I used to work in book publishing, and I am a sucker for glamming out physical prints. Fingers crossed we see some free, easy, cool unlocks for glamming out the print quality as well. That's always fun too, be it some fun features, maybe some French blafts, maybe some spot gloss and varnish, or spot gloss and what's it called? Embossing or debossing too. Either or would be pretty cool. And then coming up next, we have, this one's already been unlocked, I believe, which is fun. The man himself, Andy Chambers, is signing up to design Trench Crusade's first ever Dramatis Personae, or special character. All backers will receive a copy of their rules, and you can convert up a miniature to represent them. And then we have 2 more stretch goals before we hit the big 1 million. Hopefully you'll give us a bit more time to prepare and update those. Once again, and I'll keep saying this, thank you for your support. So cool. Yeah, I wholeheartedly definitely believe that this has exceeded by far their expectations. Really cool, awesome campaign to be a part of, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm also curious with this Dramatis Personae piece, if they're going to be doing or have goals for like 1 per faction, maybe, or if it'll be 1 per crowdfunding campaign that they do. So we'll see about that, and I'm excited to see what that big million and the other secret 2 are for now. Hopefully we reach them in the next couple of days. I think the campaign has started to slow down, which makes sense for getting to the end of the second day, and usually the first 2 days are the big bump, and then it'll get slow, bit of a lull throughout the middle, and then pick up steam right at the end again too. So excited to see what updates they have in store to keep things interesting and exciting. And I'm definitely going to be doing these videos for each faction focus. I think it makes sense. Might do it for other ones too if there's something that's particularly interesting, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!